Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Real Word Podcast, a place where real thoughts, real ideas, and real words come to life. I'm your host, Drew, coming from San Diego, California. And this is episode number 2, so welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for dropping by. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And let's get into episode number 2. So when I stopped recording the last episode, I went in and was doing my thing, trying to get it uploaded, all that, and then I realized I kind of left some key interests, key podcasts, some key things that I think you guys should know about me. So I kind of wanted to do another episode pretty quick, get you guys more familiar with who I am, kind of my mindset and where I'm at. So again, I appreciate you guys stopping by and checking it out. And at the top, we're just gonna have a little football talk. So let's get into that. Yesterday on Saturday, there's a couple good games, couple key games. We had the Texans defeating the Bills in overtime, 22-19. That was a pretty good game. I do want to say the Texans were down 16-0 at one point. And, it showed that they had their resiliency. They showed their heart. They showed that they can come back, never give up. So that was pretty cool. That went into overtime. Went pretty good into the first quarter of the overtime. And then the Texans got a pretty good pass deep into the red zone. They the coach, I guess, just decided no more messing around. Let's just take these 3 points and end the game. And that's what they did. And ended it 22-19, like I said. So it was a good game. Back and forth. Texans with the comeback. And so they're moving on. And then that basically led right up into the start of the Titans and the Patriots, where the Titans ended up defeating the Patriots 20-13. It was a good game. It was a good game. It's pretty physical. Seemed like it was pretty defense heavy. And both teams were, it was the playoffs, man. Both teams wanted it. Titans ended up taking it. Is this the end of the regime, as they would say, for Tom Brady and that whole dynasty? 21 years, something like that. So it's been a long ride, and I personally believe he's gonna test the free agency. I know there's been talks about him maybe going to the Chargers, going to the Colts. Who knows? Who knows where he'll end up, or if he might just call it a day if there's not the right fit. But I do believe he wants to still play, still be active, still doing it. So we'll see what happens. But if I were to put money on it, I would say we would see him in a different uniform next season, which is very interesting. It's a very interesting thing that would kind of bring a whole new flavor to the game, because yes, he's an older quarterback, but he's still very talented, still performs at a very high level. So it's we will see what happens. That's about all I can say. And then today we have the Vikings and Saints starting here in just a little bit. I like this matchup. I do like this matchup. I do think the Saints kind of need some good karma coming their way for last season, I believe it was. And I think they'll get it. I think it's going to be a close game. I do think it's going to be a very close game. Maybe I don't even know. 24-21 Saints. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Then we have the Seahawks and the Eagles, and to be honest, I haven't paid attention to really either of these teams too much this season, so I don't know how this matchup is gonna go. But if I were to put money on it, which I'm not a gambling man. I don't do that. But I would take the Seahawks. I think. I think, like I said, I haven't paid too much attention to either of these teams, so it's hard to put a score on it. But let's say 28-21 Seahawks. Still a pretty close game, but I do think the Seahawks will take it. I do think that. And that's what's going on with the football, with the NFL. And then, like I was saying at the top, there was a few things that I kind of left out on my first episode. Kind of wanted to go over a few other podcasts, YouTube channels that I kind of pay attention to and watch and keep an eye on. So one of the first ones is Tim Pool. I really like listening to his content. He lays out the news and topics kind of in a non-biased, somewhat biased way, but he's pretty upfront about it. So I like that. But he just tries to be honest and straightforward with it. So I do appreciate that. I like that. His content is pretty good. Another guy that I watch is Adam Kokesh. I watch his stuff. He has a lot of content on YouTube, civil disobedience stuff. If I were to vote for anybody, it would be him for the Libertarian Party. That's kind of where I ideally line up. So that's and speaking of him, and this kind of leads into the next one, Tinfoil Hat. Adam Kokesh was just on the Tinfoil Hat. He's been on, I think, twice now. But he was just debating another presidential candidate, talking about gun control and a couple other topics, but it was mainly supposed to be about gun control, and it was good. I highly recommend it. So yeah, I watched the Tinfoil Hat podcast as well. And then I really like Sam Tripoli, especially him and Eddie Bravo when they get together. That's one of the best combos right there. But yeah, I just like the Tinfoil Hat podcast for sure. And then another one I've been kind of keeping my eye on more heavily is the Whiskey Ginger with Andrew Santino. He's funny, man. He's a good one. And they just kind of chill, have a drink. If the guest drinks, they'll have a drink or so and just have a good conversation. And I enjoy that. And especially when it gets silly, but they can also get serious. But yeah, Andrew Santino, man. Sometimes you can never know when he's joking or being serious, and he plays it off well. So I like that. It's pretty funny. It's good stuff. And then another one I kind of listen to on a pretty regular basis is the Going in Raw podcast with Steven Larson. I definitely am a wrestling fan, a WWE fan. I do enjoy AEW, but I haven't been able to watch it lately. But so I keep up with some information through that podcast, and they do a pretty good job with it. So, um, that's yeah. So I'm into a lot of things, but those are a few others that I kind of watch on a more weekly basis that I kind of left out on the previous episode. And then yeah, I just kind of wanted to get into some other interests, some other things that I have going on. There's something going on. I don't even know if it's gonna be picked up or not, but hey, whatever. We'll deal with it. Keep it rolling. But yeah, another thing I wanted to talk about is I am plant based. I try and live a vegan lifestyle. Been doing that for close to 3 years now, maybe a little longer, maybe a little less, somewhere around there. But um, yeah, I do try and live by that lifestyle. I initially thought it was really challenging. Didn't think I could ever do it. I was always a meat eater and, always enjoyed animal products and things like that. But there was a couple things that kind of made me change my mind. There was a couple documentaries. And then a friend of mine was vegan as well. And she had been vegan for quite a while. And that made it easier. Actually, like knowing somebody and having someone to kind of talk to and kind of help you out through the process. Because I do feel like a lot of people don't do it right initially. I was probably in the same position, wasn't getting enough calories, enough protein, enough nutrients, but I think I found a good balance now. I mean, I don't do any blood work or anything like that, but I try and get a good mix of everything that I believe I would need. I feel good, and honestly, I care about animals. I always have, and looking at an animal in the face now, I personally couldn't kill an animal. And yes, driving, walking, you incidentally kill things. And nobody's perfect, but I try and never intentionally kill an animal anymore. And so if I couldn't kill it, I can't support buying the products from the store because that's just blindly supporting it. And yeah, man, my whole mindset just changed. And that was a big part of it too. Just understanding that these animals have lives and they get treated so horribly throughout the process of their life. And it's messed up, man. But I don't want to get too preachy, anything like that. I just kind of wanted to give you guys a heads up about more in depth about who I am and kind of what I'm about and what I got going on. So uh, that's that was definitely another thing I kind of left out. Um, Another thing is, and this will be like a whole nother episode further down the line, but um, I touched on it briefly in the first one, just about my mental health and how I've kind of always struggled with that, how I've always had issues with that, and that's kind of, how I came to finding cannabis and smoking weed and all that. So that is one thing I definitely struggle with. Mental health and the fear of abandonment and yeah, like I said, that'll be a whole nother episode that we can talk about, get into. But I've always struggled with relationships and it's never turned out well for me. So I do know I have things to work on, things to get better at, but that's why I'm trying to, take this new year, take steps in the positive and right direction, and start taking control of what I can control and staying busy and just doing things that I want to do. And yeah, like I said, just keeping me busy and not focused on these other distractions going on. So that's another thing that's going on with me. I go to therapy every like 2 weeks or so. It's about all I can really afford right now. Or else I'd go once, twice a week. I just know there's a lot to dig into, and I had pushed it off for so long. There was always this stigma about mental health, going to see a therapist and counseling and all of that. So it's been a long time. There's been a lot of built up things that I kind of need to work through and take control of. So that's where I'm at. I'm just being honest with you. It's something that, I've always struggled with, but we're taking steps. We're doing the right thing, I feel. Whatever that is, I'm just doing it day by day, just trying to make the best decisions I can. So on that note, man, got a little heavy there. Let's have a little snap. I got this apple fritter. I'll break up real quick just with my fingers. Got it going. Then I'll pack it up. Like I said, this apple fritter is really nice. Definitely said that in the last episode. So still the same stuff I'm smoking on. And yeah, I got it packed up now. So let's get to it. It's already close to 20 minutes, like 17 minutes in right now, 17 and a half. So let's take this, see where we end up, and we'll close it out. So let's go. Cheers, everybody. Got my coffee here, man. After a snap, you always gotta have some coffee. Not always, but in the morning it's very nice. Coffee and weed. Shout out to Drew Green and Mod Sun. It's a classic song right there. Classic in my eyes. I like that song. It's a fun one. Make sure you check it out. Jew Green, Jeu Green, and Mod Sun. So shout them out. Coffee and weed, man. Great combo. Gotta love it. Yeah, so that's what's going on with me. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I'm sure I'm working. Definitely want out of this job. Went on a job interview yesterday. We'll see if I get called back for the second interview. I have another interview lined up for Tuesday in the evening. We'll see how that one goes. And yeah, we'll just take these steps and just keep a positive mind and just try and take action. And then gotta close this deal on the real estate end, cuz let me just tell you about this, cuz to be honest, like, me and my buddy have potential to make a couple 100,000. So split it between the both of us, around 100,000. That'd give us around 50, 60 grand after taxes. this is what I want to happen. This is what I need to happen. We need to close this deal for this, because once this happens and we collect that cash, I'm quitting work, because that 50, 60,000 would get me enough. That's more than I make in like a year and a half, 2 years. So I would quit, focus on what I truly want to do, which is this stuff, and just get it, just be constant, consistent, every day, every couple of days, just boom, boom, boom with this content, putting it out there, just growing the channel, and then living off of this, man. This is what I want to do. And within that year and a half or so, grow that channel to where I'm able to survive off of it and just be able to keep doing it. And then, within that time, get merch, get other sponsors, just other ways of getting income and making sure I live a comfortable life. I don't necessarily need much. I just want to live comfortably. That's it. Like, just a nice house with maybe like an acre of land or something like that, to be able to just kind of grow what I want to grow, like trees, vegetables, have a garden, just all that kind of stuff, have some animals around, and as pets, like, not to eat, anything like that. We just went over that, so just some pets, and just live a comfortable life. Have the studio, close a couple, 4 or 5 real estate deals a year, collect rental income, collect dividend income through the stock market, and just kind of diversify myself throughout a few different streams of income. But we really need to close this deal, because the potential to make that money is right there, and we just got to make it happen. We just have to make it happen, and we will make it happen. It's gonna happen soon. I know it will. We're really close. So we're in the process, and it's getting close. So that's the plan. That's, in the world I have dreamed up, that's how it is gonna go. But you never know. You never know. But I believe we're making the right steps and doing what we have to do to make it happen. So that's where we're at. That's what I got going on. Eventually I'll get some more art and some more stuff in the backgrounds here and all that, and be a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. Maybe paint the walls. Maybe that's all it needs. Just a little fresh coat of paint. But this is the beginning process. We're in the beginning stages, and it's only going to grow from here. So if you're still listening, I appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, anything. And let's keep it going. Let's keep it growing. Thank you guys so much. And until next time, peace.